Hey guys, Yasir Khan here, and in this video I will be talking about how credit cards work. Now, when I started with credit cards, it was a very confusing process for me too, okay, because there aren't a whole lot of resources. There especially weren't when I started back in 2006, so I had to do a lot of trial and error. And a lot of people, they keep, and either they're scared of using a credit card at all, or they keep paying a lot in interest charges, and it kind of takes the fun out of it. So I created this guide to help you understand how a credit card is supposed to work and how you can maximize the benefits and reduce any fees or charges or interest charges that you have to pay. Okay, so this is going to be a very important video, and I'm going to get right into it. The first thing to understand is that the entire monetary system around the world is based on debt. It's not money. I think I covered that in another video. Please feel free to check that out. And the name of the video is How to Use Debt to Become Rich. Please check that video out. Now, because it is debt and not money, financial institutions like banks and credit unions, it is in their interest to make sure that you can use credit, which means that you can use debt. You can get into debt if you want to, because that's what helps the system expand, right? Towards that end, getting a credit card, especially in Western countries, is extremely easy, to the point that you can go anywhere and fill out an application and they'll give you a credit card, right? Sometimes it'll start with $500, sometimes with $1,000, sometimes with $2,000. If you have enough income and you can show that you have income, it'll start with $5,000 limit. It depends, but the basics remain the same. Financial institutions want you to use their credit cards because they're hoping, for the most part, that you default on the debt, which means that you don't pay the credit card off every single month, and then they can charge you interest on it. In fact, credit card companies call you a deadbeat if you pay everything off on time, so you don't pay them interest. Please understand that they are in the business of making money through you not doing things properly. Okay, so if you have $1,000 due on your credit card and you pay off $900, you are still owing $100, and they will charge you interest on the entire purchase, as far as I know. Some credit card companies might be different, but most of them, they charge you the entire interest on the entire balance, even if you have paid most of it off. This is very important to understand, guys. Okay, which means that you should pay it off every single month. Either that, or don't use your credit card if you're not confident that you'll be able to pay everything off. Okay, I know a lot of people who use credit cards, and then they say, well, yeah, I'll think about it when the payment date comes, I'll figure some way to pay it off, and they never have been able to do it. If you can't afford a $1,200 laptop, then please don't get it. You don't need to have an iPhone 10 if you don't have the money for it. Putting it on a credit card will not save you the trouble from paying it back. You still have to pay it back. In fact, if you don't pay off your credit card on time every month, it is going to hurt your credit score, so you won't be able to get a lot of credit down the road when you really need it. For example, when you have to buy a car or a house or make a big purchase. Okay? So, when you get a credit card, use it responsibly. Okay? Make sure you pay it off every single month. Because if you don't, even if you pay off most of it but not all of it, then they will charge you the interest on all of the balance, even though you have paid most of it. I hope you understand what I mean. Now, a lot of people are confused about how to read a credit card statement, right? And it is confusing, but once you understand a couple of things, it's very easy. The first thing you already know is that whenever you make a purchase, the credit card company generally gives you 3 to 4 weeks and slash or a little bit of an extended period for you to pay it off, right? Because that's what a credit card is. It allows you to buy things and then pay for them at a later date. Now, that later date is called the due date. Okay? And 2 weeks before the due date, you'll get the statement. Okay? Which is called, when the statement is issued for you, that date is called the statement date. So for example, for one of my credit cards, the statement date is the 6th of every month, and the due date is 14 days after, which is the 20th of every month. So what they're essentially saying is, on the 6th of every month, we're going to send you a statement. Okay? It's going to show you whatever you bought in the last 30 days in the previous month. And then we're going to give you 2 weeks to pay off the balance by the balance date, which is going to be the 20th of every month. Which means that you look at your credit card statement and figure out what the balance due is, and then pay it off by the due date. Not after the due date, by the due date, or before, 2 or 3 days before the due date. Okay? See how simple it is? I know it takes a little getting used to, but once you understand this, it's gonna save you a lot of money. And more than that, a lot of headache and pain. Okay? So, when you keep paying off your credit card every single month on time, your credit score improves, it increases. And banks look at the credit score before lending you more money. Okay, this is exactly why people who really take care of their finances, they pay everything on time, they have access to hundreds of thousands of dollars in loans if they need it for an emergency, or to invest in an asset, to start a business, to buy real estate, all that stuff. People who don't pay off their credit cards and who don't take care of their money and make sure that their bills are paid on time, they have to go to third-party institutions and pay a big interest rate, a high interest rate, to make similar purchases. So once again, it pays you to take care of your payments. Okay, guys, a credit card is a facility for you. Okay, don't think of it as a burden. I personally am thrilled to be using my credit cards for the last 13 years. They have made my life so easy. First of all, it builds up my credit. I have excellent credit score now, which means that every single bank that I go to, I get a loan, you know. They don't ask me a lot of questions. They check out my application, they take 3 to 5 business days, and they issue a loan to me. Okay? Secondly, it gives me satisfaction that I am doing things on time. Okay? I'm not letting it rack it up on my credit card where I have to pay interest. In fact, over the last 13 years, I have not missed one payment on my credit card. Not one. Right? And that's why I have such a good credit score. The second thing to understand is that whenever you use a credit card, if you have the right credit card, you can accumulate points. For example, for my Visa Infinite Avion card, I have reward points for travel. Last time I went to Pakistan to see my wife, it was totally paid for by my reward points. Now you could argue that, well, Yasir, you're spending a lot on your credit card every single month, and that's why your points are accumulating. You're collecting them much faster, and that's true. But the thing is, the principle remains the same. You don't have to spend a lot of money. Whatever money you spend every month, a certain chunk of that, 1 or 2%, comes back to you, and in terms of points, and you can use them down the road, right? So that helps as well. Another benefit is that it will give you, at the end of the month, they'll send you a credit card statement, and you will know exactly what you bought, where you bought it from, and why you bought it, and that helps you budget. Okay? So once again, please use the credit card responsibly. It's very, very simple to use. Okay? If you can't pay for something outright, don't put it on your credit card, guys. Okay? Because it's not going to help you. Whatever happens, as soon as they issue the statement to you, on the statement date, call the bank up, and call the credit card company rather, and ask them what the statement date is, or log into your bank account and go into the credit card section. It'll tell you what the statement date is. Okay? Check out what the date is. On that particular date, they will issue you a statement. It'll show you how much you owe them and how much you have to pay them by the due date, and then pay it by the due date. I always put in a memo in my phone to tell me about this, remind me about this 1 or 2 days before the statement date, and then I pay it off. Sometimes some of my bank accounts are they're automatic transfers between my checking account to the credit card account on the due date. Some of them are not automatic, so I have to like manually do it. But either way, make sure it's paid off. Sorry, I can't even speak today. And yeah, over 12 months, you'll start building a really decent credit score, and that's when the world literally opens up to you. Okay? You can buy anything you want within reason, of course. Don't go buying a fancy car if you can't pay for it. But a better credit score will open up a lot of possibilities for you. All right, guys? So yeah, this is supposed to be a basic guide for credit cards. I didn't get too technical because you don't need to get technical about it, okay? All you need to do is understand when you have to pay it off, how the credit card works, which I covered in this video, and how how much interest they charge you. I can tell you right now, without even looking at your particular credit card, it's going to be anywhere between 15% to 30%, which is crazy. So don't let debt sit on your credit card. Use it every single month. Remember, credit card companies do not make a lot off of you if you pay everything off every single month. Okay? But it does give you a lot of benefits, reward points, and all the other stuff. All right? Access to capital and a ton of other things. My credit cards, I think I have 3 credit cards that I use consistently, and those 3 credit cards have built up my credit history to the point that I have decent access to capital. I'd like the same for you too. You can do it. It's just gonna take a little bit of time, patience, and determination. All right, guys, feel free to share this video around. Credit cards are simple to use. Just don't get overwhelmed. Don't put anything on them that you wouldn't normally put on a credit card. If when you're about to buy something, it makes you feel uncomfortable, don't buy it. Okay, that's a simple rule I follow. And yeah, I guess that pretty much concludes this video. Please like this video, comment. If you have any question, let me know. I normally reply between 12 to 24 hours. And yeah, I'm glad to be sharing this kind of information with you. Please share it with your friends and family, and hit the subscribe button. Subscribe to my channel, like this video, and I'll see you in another video. Thank you. Take care.